All right, let's talk about number one here from the parabola worksheet. Now, cool thing is there's some stuff I remember from parabolas way back in chapter 2, like -4, 0 and -1, 0 would be x-intercepts because that would make the equation equal to 0. So you could put those on, right? -4 and -1. That's kind of nice. That's not going to change just because we know a new method. Even finding the axis of symmetry, which would be right in between those 2 points. So not the best, but it's like 2.5. Or finding the vertex, plugging that in. All that stuff is going to be the same. So don't let this change you. And it's positive. I know it opens up. So I already have a pretty good idea of what this looks like. But maybe let me talk about how you would find the directrix and the focus. So I would actually take that equation and I might actually FOIL it out. So x squared plus 4x plus 1x is plus 5x plus 4. And then I would like that to say y equals 2x squared. I'm probably going to factor that right back out, plus 10x plus 8. And there it is. So now when I see a parabola that only has, or something that only has one x in it, then what I like to do, or I'm sorry, one squared in it, is I like to get the squared alone on one side, that term. So in this case, x squared, I like to get x squared alone. So I'm going to move the 8 over. So y minus 8 equals, and then I'm going to have 2x squared plus 10x. And then I'm going to factor out the 2, like I said I probably would. X squared plus 5xy, because I want to complete the square to see where that, really that vertex is going to be. All right, half the middle number is 5 over 2. Then squared is 25 over 4. So that's what we're going to add to both sides. So I'm going to add 25 over 4 to this side, and I'm going to add it to this side. Now be careful, I got multiplied by 2. So I'm going to add 50 over 4. And so now, this is going to get a little gross with fractions, but 8 is 32/4. So I have y minus, what is 50 minus 32? That's like 18. So I have 18/4, which I can reduce that. And then 2, and then x plus, half the middle number was 5 over 2, so 5 over 2 squared. And then I might clean that up a little bit. Y minus 9 over 2 equals 2x plus 5 over 2. And then honestly, I like to move the 2 to the other side, so I have 1/2. Y minus 9 over 2 equals x plus 5 over 2 squared. And there's my equation for my parabola. Now, what does that mean? That means the vertex is gross. It's -5 over 2 like we thought, 9 over 2. So there is my vertex, which then, that does not make sense because that would be -5 over 2, 9 over 2 would be up, and that would make the parabola open down. And I said in the beginning, it opened up. So somewhere I dropped a negative, and it was 50 minus 32 would be plus. So these would be plus. All right, so that's plus. So that makes me feel a little better. That means this is -4.5. So -2.5, -4.5 is like right there. So there is your vertex. So your vertex. Now, the crazy part, right, is that the 4p thing. This is 1 over 4p. So I know that that's true, right? I'm sorry, 4p is not 1 over. 4p is equal to 1/2. So what does that mean? That means that if you want to, you could cross multiply or whatever, but you're going to get 8p equals 1, or p equals 1/8. And that's my p-value. In other words, I need to go 1/8 of a unit in the y direction. If you want, I'll write it nicely. X plus 5 over 2 squared equals 4 times p, which is 1/8, and then y plus 9 over 2. Now, why do I say that's nicely? There's your p-value, and you're going to go 1/8 of a unit in that direction. So I'm going to go up 1/8 to get the focus. So, yuck, the focus is take the vertex and add 1/8 to the y value. So I'm just going to leave it like that. And how do you find the directrix? You take, in this case, the focus was up 1/8. The directrix is going to be down 1/8, right? And so it's going to be like that. And so what does that mean? Well, that means that it's an equation. It's definitely y equals now the vertex was at -9/2, and now we have to go down an eighth. So that's the equation for the directrix. I should probably clean that up because I'm really showing bad manners there. What else do I know? I know that the 4p, the half thing, that's how wide it was at the focus. So it went 1/4 of a unit in each direction at the focus. And that would tell you how wide to make your parabola. But I had these other 2 points. So there she is. I got everything, right? Oh, and axis of symmetry was the x value. So x equals -5/2. All right, I hope that helps. Stay happy.